everyone. It's Friday and I just got home from work. And yeah, don't have to work this weekend. And just came home and it was that time to clean the fish tank. So I gave it a good 50% water change. And I just added in water good about a half hour ago and it's just been sitting. But yeah, this tank I bought about two and a half weeks ago, and it's 75 gallons, 4 foot by 18 inches. And I have my Oscar cichlid, who's kind of just floating over here, and there's two firemouse cichlids over under the rocks in the driftwood. But yeah, I bought this tank and got all the things for it. I've got a 140 watt heater with a Marine Land 360 filter, which is good for 100 gallons. And yeah, I did that, and then I bought the fish, and they're fairly dirty fish, so I clean it probably every 5 to 7 days. I give it like a 50% water change. But yeah, I've got everything in there. I've got a beer stone, a couple decorations, and yeah, it's turned out very, very nice. I mean, this is just basically what I have for now, and it's just, yeah, just the layout I have right now I'm very satisfied with. So, yeah, I got the Oscar and both other fish about 2.5 weeks ago. My Oscar's already grown like half an inch, fourth to half an inch. When I first got him, he was sort of laid up in the corners of the tank, and he kind of sat up there. He wasn't very, just wasn't active and, kind of swimming around and, getting a feel for what else is in here. But yeah, he stayed up there, but after a couple more days, he kind of started coming out and swimming up across the tank. And yeah, the fire mouse have always been swimming around, and them, and then they would come at each other, and puff their throats out. But they're a beautiful fish, and I originally got the tank for the Oscar, but I mean, I've seen, one Oscar in the 75, you could probably put a small medium-sized cichlid in there. So I got two fire mouse, and we'll see how well they do together, and if I need to switch them out or not. But I put them in at the same time, so I think should be okay. The hiding spots over there, and fire mouse are fairly temperamental fish, and Oscars can be aggressive, but they can also be lazy. So they're kind of like water pigs in my opinion, because they're big, bulk, and they just excrete waste everywhere. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things when it comes to caring for Oscars. People. It's just a very popular fish, and they usually, when they sell them, they're fairly small to medium size. And if you go into a privately owned pet store, they can even sell them at full-grown length, which is around 14 to 16 inches. Now, it's a very attractive fish, and it's very popular, and people just, there's all different kinds. There's albino, there's red, tiger, and zebra as well, which isn't really one I've seen around a lot. I've seen the other three very commonly. But yeah, Oscars, just the fish itself, I mean, they're not really a delicate fish. I mean, they've got big jaws, and they've got teeth in their back molars, and they're just, yeah, big, bold fish, and they just, they call them the water dogs because, I mean, they're intellectual. They'll come up to the tank, they'll swim along beside you, and they'll just, yeah, it's like they're a dog in a tank, basically, and they kind of, they interact with you, and you can teach them, you can hold your food up, and they'll jump, they'll hop out of the tank and snag it out of your hands, but yeah, they're not afraid. I mean, you could stick your hand in the tank and pet them, and they're not just going to go hide under a rock. I mean, they're just there to eat and kind of, just fuel their aquarium and live out their lives. But yeah, when it comes to caring for them, I mean, like I said, they'll sell them when they're about an inch and a half, 2 inches. That's when they're babies, and they'll usually they'll sell them at any average pet store, and they're just, they're usually around $7, not $10, and they'll come at that size, and you can buy them, but in the long run, Oscars they grow very quickly in a fairly short amount of time. They can actually live up to 14, 20 years, and they get up, like I said, around 14 to 16 inches. And that's when people can get shocked because you get this tiny fish, and all of a sudden it just turns into this big mammoth beast. And yeah, when you buy them, you could get a small tank, like a 10-gallon or between 10 and 30, and kind of raise them in there, but kind of when they, really start to mature into adulthood, when they start really getting to their full lengths, you're going to want to go with a bigger tank. Yeah, you can go anywhere. I've seen pet store signs that you could put them in 40 gallons, which, I mean, to me, putting it in a 40-gallon, which is close to half the size of this, would be, I mean, they're wide enough, but the fish get so big that it would literally they'd just be swimming around in their own waste, and you literally have to do a change every other day. They wouldn't have much space to swim around with. I mean, you would only have to put one fish in there. You couldn't put anything else because that'd be its home. You really couldn't fit anything else in it. I've heard of people using 55s, but the problem is with those is the common model includes just only 12 inches across, and it just makes it very awkward for the creature to swim and kind of turn around. And so, I've heard of, there are different types of models. I've heard of 50 gallons, even 55s. There's just certain, I mean, just the most common one is a 12 by 4 feet, but, some people have gotten away with those, but it's, it's just a certain model you can buy that'll be better for you. So I bought, this is probably the most ideal, comfortable fit minimum size for an Oscar would be a 75 gallon. You've just got a decent amount of swimming room, and it's plenty wide enough for them. I mean, I've never heard of an Oscar getting over 18 inches. I heard of one person in a comment feed saying he came across a mated pair, or someone told him a mated pair that were about 4 feet long. And now for an Oscar to get that big, you would literally have to, that to me would just mean it's just overfed, and it's just huge, and just kind of, it sounds like it's mutated. But yeah, you get an Oscar and you can put him in a good sized tank. And the biggest thing is the filtration. You usually want to get them into, a filter. More powerful ones would be the canister filters, and you could fit those in there and get it. If the tank's 75, you want to get it up to half of that, if not more, depending on how clean you want the tank. But Oscars, that's just the thing about them. I mean, they eat, and their food just digest very quickly and they just excrete everywhere. So, I mean, before this, I had two in a 30-gallon, and they were about 6 inches. I had to get them away because they were too big. But yeah, every couple of days I would vacuum the bottom, and they would just, it was all just gunk coming out the bottom. So they definitely, they'll eat and they'll just, yeah, they just, you know, crap all over the place. And, but yeah, you could feed them. You can feed them your basic cichlid pellets that they sell so commonly at the pet stores. Those have got, you know, all the basic nutrients and all the different substances in them that are combined together that you could feed them. And if you want some more entertainment, you could feed them things like earthworms. You could feed them frogs. You could feed them worms. You know, they're fish. They'll eat those things. You can feed them goldfish. A lot of people, you know, say that there's no nutrients in goldfish. All it's really giving the Oscar something to chase. But it's just food. It's really like a human eating fast food. But yeah, they could just, you could feed them live things. You could feed them basic things in the bag, just basic flakes or pellets. But, you know, the more you feed them, I mean, if you feed them good, you keep their water clean, and you just give them a good, it's a nice open space, they'll grow fairly quickly. And they will grow to the size of 14 to 16 inches. I mean, you can keep them in a 10-gallon tank. I'm not saying, you know, keep them in there while they get to that full size, but they will get to that size of 14 to 16 inches. And yeah, they just need just when they're adults. And it's not like they just grow overnight. I mean, it takes about 2 years for them to just get to their full mature size. But you know, once they do that, you know, they're gonna need to live their life out in the rest of their lives out in a fairly large tank. But yeah, you get them when they're feeding. You just want to feed them varieties of food so they're getting every single part of the diet that they need, and then they'll, you know, they'll display their full nature just with them and their colors and their behavior. So yeah, you do those things, and you give them all those natural things they need, and you should be on your way to enjoying your pet and creating a nice, healthy Oscar. But yeah, they just very intellectual, very beautiful fish, very popular, and you know, you raise them this size. By the time they're small and they get bigger, you know, you get attached to them, and they're just an enjoyment to have. So yeah, just follow those basic steps. You know, when the money comes around and you're committed enough, go ahead and buy it. So those are all the basic things you need, and I can make more sessions of the tank, showing the size of the fish and just what's updated with it. So that's it for now. That's February 26th, 2016. So yeah, give these fish some time to grow.